matter here. Okay. The Native American tradition of symbiosis with the environment, the understanding of factoring in the seventh generation anytime that the tribe comes to a crossroads, and asking ourselves, how will this decision affect 7 generations from now? We don't do that.
Yeah, right. We don't think 7 months into the future.
Oh, I know.
7 generations.
Exactly. Yeah. Precisely.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking centuries ahead. I'm thinking 7 generations ahead. And I'm saying to myself, based on where we're at now, if we continue to go down this road, where are we going to be? And this kind of dives into this idea of my care for the environment, because I have a oneness with nature. So I view nature as an extension of myself. Technically, nature is an extension of everybody. You know, we are a piece of nature.
I consider myself distinct from the natural environment. I consider myself, as the Christian view, that the natural environment is here for me, that I am a steward of these things, and that I am here to serve God, and I'm distinct from God in that way. Though, to your point on religion, there is such a thing as sacrament, and there is such a thing as communion. So that's an important aspect too. But I guess maybe the difference in view that we have here is I don't really think we're all just kind of one. You know, I think that we're rather distinct and individual.
Well, that's called ego.
Yep.
And I do everything I can to dissolve that in myself. I'm of the belief that the only way that we can have any sort of an objective view of reality is if we dissolve that ego, right? So when I've had boundary dissolving experiences, either through meditation, through tattooing, through fasting, through sexual abstinence, or through psychedelic experiences, I have had this feeling and this experience of boundary dissolution. This ego death occurs, and the objective reality of interconnectivity is what I'm served, is what God gives to me. And this is part of the reason why shamanic practitioners always pray before they do any of these things, why it is a ceremony where the whole point is to get in touch with God and to dissolve the ego so that these transcendental experiences can be had. Now, in what you're saying about like nature and being separate, if I were to ask you, are you your eyeballs? You would say, no, you're not your eyeballs. You're not your fingernails.
No.
You're not your liver.
No.
You're not your brain, right? You're all of these things creating a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts.
And crucially, I'm soul as well.
Right.
So physical, but also metaphysical.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that metaphysical soul, what is that?
The technical language would be that the soul is the substantial form of the body. So the body is matter, and as you say, it's not neatly divisible like you'd divide a catalytic converter from the other parts of a car. It's part of the whole of my body. So, you know, if you kill me, my liver's not going to do a lot of good, at least, you know, after a short period of time. So the body is the matter, and the soul is the form, and then together they form a hylomorphic unity, which is myself. That's my conception.
Okay. So your body is made up of energy, yeah? If you were to break down every piece of your being, and you just like, you're made up of atoms.
Stuff.
What are atoms made up of? Quarks, you know, and you keep breaking it down. Eventually, you just get to like this quantum foam of energy, right?
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. So that means that your soul, your very being, which is interconnected with the body, is also made up of energy. It's made up of this pure, transcendental, everything stuff.
Well, I guess this would be another distinction, perhaps, between our views of the world. I don't think that the metaphysical stuff can be simplified down to physical stuff. I think they're distinct in the way that a symbol is distinct from the thing that it symbolizes. I think that you can get all the way down on the physical level to my body, into all the little molecules and atoms and quarks and whatever else is there, but you're not going to find the soul at the physical level, because the soul is metaphysical, and they're joined together in a real way, but not in a way that can be reduced to physicality.
Right. Well, energy isn't per se physical. Energy is metaphysical. It is beyond the physical. It is something that transcends physicality, because our bodies are a frequency of energy manifesting in a physical form, right? So the whole reason why I'm bringing that up is this. if you are not your body on its own, if your body isn't just its organs, right? And you are this whole that is greater than the sum of its parts, then the same forces of creation that created your body also created the earth. They created the sun. They created the entire galaxy, the whole universe, right? So if you are not your eyes or your liver or your fingernails, but you are this whole that is greater than the sum, that also means that you are the sun, you are the earth, you are interconnected to all of these things on an energetic level. And the whole point of these transcendental experiences is to dive into that level where everything is one. And to have the experience of bliss, it is a very real bliss, to have that experience of bliss as often as possible.
What strikes me most about that explanation is the way that you were painted by the media and